Does it irritate you when sometimes other people are always late, or maybe they make plans and they flake out and things fall through? They can't commit to something. But then there are other times where there's qualities in others that you see that you really admire, that really resonate with you. Maybe you see this in entertainers. Maybe you see this with your favorite YouTube creators or digital marketing entrepreneurs. One of the coolest lessons that I've ever learned was from a book called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. I was in this leadership program, and there was someone in the program. I must have been in my late 20s. They were maybe 35 or so. Somebody that was successful in real estate, had a nice convertible Mercedes, just seemed to have this carefree life. Somebody that I had aspired to be that person. And we were talking, and in that conversation, this book came up, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. And he mentioned how this is such an amazing book. I need to read this book. I need to check it out. He knew that I was into personal growth and those kind of things. In this book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford, man, I don't feel like this book is elevated and out there and talked about as much as it should be. There were a couple stories in there that really resonated with me. Now, I mentioned that idea of somebody that's always late, that type of thing. And I believe in that book it shared a story of, let's say somebody is in a leadership role and somebody on their team is always late, and that just really irritates them and drives them absolutely crazy. Well, the concept of the book is that we are all mirrors for each other. So when we see that quality in somebody else, or a different quality in somebody else that we don't like, maybe they don't follow through, maybe they don't commit, it's because we possess that same trait or quality. And that's what irritates us, because it's reflective of ourselves and we see it on others, but often we don't acknowledge that or realize that. Now that's tough to hear at first. You might find yourself going through all the things that you see with others. Maybe you're out there driving and somebody doesn't use their turn signal, or they cut you off, or whatever it may be. But then there's probably other things you see, as I'd mentioned, successful entertainers. For me, it was always confident speakers and entrepreneurs and people that could start something from scratch and build something, YouTube creators, all of those. And that was the cool part of it. It said when you see those qualities that you admire in others, it's because you possess those same qualities. However, you haven't manifested it yet. That's why you're constantly attracted to these certain figures in business or entrepreneurship or health and fitness, whatever it may be. And I remember reading those words. I got books all over the place in here. I was trying to find it to share it with you, but I remember opening that book at some point, getting to that piece, and still remembering that, 20 years later. And what was so cool about it was understanding that, seeing those qualities in others that we just haven't manifested yet. That was the coolest, most hopeful, I think, lesson that I've learned in any book. That's why I wanted to share it with you as well. So think about that. All these things that you notice in others. Of course, there's going to be the things that we dislike, that irritate us, but reflect on us to improve on those. But then also, I think the bigger picture is the people that we look up to that are successful. Maybe they're confident speakers, like I mentioned, is because you possess that and you just haven't manifested it yet. Think about that. Think about that and all the things that you may be putting off and you haven't started quite yet. That it's in there. It's just waiting to come out, waiting for that creativity to come out. So be sure to check that book out, whether it's you're reading the book or on audio, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. And also keep in mind, what is it that you're seeing in others that's being reflected back on you that are qualities you possess that haven't yet manifested themselves yet. Wish you all the best. Thanks again, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.